Each job would be something like accepting a new challenge, new domain, new expertise, new skill requirements, etc. But comparatively, if you know a certain industry how it works, it will be very
Right.
easy for us to ensure that the knowledge and the skills and wisdom that I gain over those areas can be easily stimulated and put forward in this industry also.
Mr. Sreekrishna, across so many roles, from Biocon to Tata Power to EY, you've consistently reduced cost, improved delivery, and unlocked real business value through automation and architecture. But I'm sure not every transformation was smooth sailing. To FaceTime with Leaders by Directors Institute World Council of Directors. I'm your host Charu Mehra, and today we are diving into a conversation that cuts across digital strategy, enterprise transformation, and boardroom relevance. Joining me is someone who's been in the thick of it for over 3 decades, Mr. Sreekrishna Mohandas. From Tata to Biocon to Accenture and EY, he's worked across industries, geographies, and transformation scales most of us only read case studies about. Mr. Sreekrishna, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for the lovely introduction and for the warm welcome. And I'm excited to be here. And I'm very glad to have associated with the Director Institute and for giving me this opportunity to have an interaction with you. Thank you very much. It has been more than 35 years traversing across multiple regions and multiple industries. As you rightly pointed out, IT firms and clients and companies like Tata Group and then Biocon Group, as well as
Right.
ONGC. So I started
Mhm.
my career there. So all those experience is very hectic as well as long journey.
Absolutely, sir. So we are so glad to have you here. You built and led large scale IT programs, managed SAP architecture across 30 entities, and pushed digital innovation in sectors like oil and gas, pharma, energy, and utilities, all while keeping governance and ROI at the center of it. So let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Walk us through your career journey, sir, how it started, how it progressed, and what shaped the direction you took.
So my journey started in 1987 with Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, ONGC, India's largest
Mhm.
oil sector company.
Right.
And yeah, so it has got operations in upstream, midstream, and downstream of oil and gas, the entire end-to-end oil and gas processing. And I joined in Mumbai
Okay.
Regional Business Center. And I've been trained in multiple locations like Mumbai offshore platforms, offshore drilling rigs, and then Uran. And later, I was in Hasira gas plant. Hasira gas plant is, about to start. It was in the thick of commissioning activities. And I'm
Okay.
fortunate to have associated with that as an EPC guy, engineering, procurement, and construction guy.
Right.
And it
Right.
was a hectic journey. It was almost 16 hours a day work throughout.
Okay.
And the journey started, and I literally enjoyed the work. Looking back, and including looking at the P&ID charts, construction of pillars and plants, machines, etc. So that was a whole 10 years of work in Hasira gas plant.
Mhm.
And then later I moved to drilling section. So ONGC has got multiple drilling businesses like
Right.
operation business and drilling business, technology business centers, etc. So I was part of the earlier when I was in Mumbai, I was part of the OBG, Operation Business Group, and then
Okay.
I moved to drilling business group,
Mhm.
southern region, and I work with the drilling operations and drilling of oil wells in southern region and traveling across various parts of South India.
Right.
And before I moved to Delhi, so I just moved to Delhi because I wanted to be part of the planning division of ONGC,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I could get into the ERP implementation within SAP. So when I was in southern region, I was part of the project IMMS, which is Materials Management Implementation for the first time in ONGC. It was
Mhm.
as early as 2000, 2001 at that point in,
Right.
and I literally enjoyed working on the software part of that. It was, though it is Oracle, and later I was selected in the as a core team member of ONGC's SAP implementation team.
Okay. Okay.
Selected as a
Wow.
ERP, and that was one of the turning points in my career actually. So having exposed to all the functions of ONGC like drilling, operations, engineering, procurement, contracts, maintenance activities, etc.
Right.
I consider myself as one of the right person to be part of the core team also SAP. So that gave me a plethora of opportunities, to work across ONGC and
Right.
implement SAP.
Mhm.
And later, after implementing SAP, I moved to. I got an excellent opportunity to work with Accenture in Australia.
Okay.
So I was
Wow.
part of the Accenture Australia team, not India team, and worked there in multiple companies like Alinda, AGL, BHP Billiton, Rio Tinto, etc., which Accenture were the leading implementation partners and consulting partners as well.
Okay.
So that give me a lot of insights regarding grid, smart power generation, smart retails, etc. So the whole issues related to the power plant, power generation, as well as transmission and retailing of power.
Right.
So and then I came back to India because I went to Australia for settling down in Australia and working there forever for my rest of my life. But due to some family issues, I came back to Bangalore,
India.
and I joined working with India's world's leading consulting firms like IBM. I was
Right.
in IBM as a leader of oil and gas industry, chemicals and petroleum, pharmaceuticals. The whole chemicals, petroleum, and pharmaceuticals were under me, and I was fortunate enough to interact with multiple pharmaceutical companies, oil and gas companies, etc. And having worked there for almost 4.5 years, I was part of the GD Global Delivery Center also, GDC also 5 years.
Okay. Okay.
Wherein I could work with globally leading oil companies like Shell, ExxonMobil, and Suncor of Canada, etc. And then I got an opportunity to work with the Biocon Group as their head of business relationship management, as
Okay.
well as head of SAP global implementation. So it was a very challenging, a very complex role, which I thought I should accept and then work with that. And it was a multiple country implementation, almost 5 countries across the globe, and
Okay.
almost the whole modules of SAP was implemented. Very challenging, complex implementation. Lot of compliance regime, lot of uh, auditing processes. Not only audit related to foreign FDA, US FDA, or Russia, Ukraine, China, all those auditors, but ensuring that the whole GMP processes are tested and successfully verified and accepted by
Right.
auditors.
Right.
Yeah. And then I moved to Tata Power. Since again, Tata Group gave me a very good opportunity to lead the whole ERP application practice. And I was working as capacity of CIO also for quite some time. And the whole uh, power sector, like for example, you understand the challenges in working in power sector. Not even a single minute downtime is allowed in power sector, because in Mumbai and Delhi, etc., it is very challenging. uh,
Right.
yeah, and the questions will be even raised in parliament if there is a shutdown and due to some issue.
Okay.
So that was
Okay.
the challenges, and we were always on the toes. Luckily for me, we had an excellent IT team, and the conceptual understanding. The business teams as well as the IT teams have very frequent interactions, and ensure that the resilience of operations, resilience of business, etc., has been excellently conducted, and we used to manage and achieve the targets and strategize our whole operations and
Right.
business, etc., in time. And during the Corona period time, I just came back to Bangalore again, and I started working with the EY LLP as a
Right.
director in their technology practice.
Wow.
Yeah, and still I'm continuing working with them, even
Mhm.
though I just had to, I have retired last year, but at the same time, I am just, they have retained me as the director continuously.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that is my journey in a nutshell. It's very interesting. A lot of industries, oil and gas, as you rightly pointed out, petrochemicals, petroleum, and pharmaceuticals, energy and utilities, FMCG
Right.
companies, and lot of advisory to food and agriculture industry also. So all the manufacturing industries. So it was,
Right.
yeah, but
Wow, it
challenge.
is such an interesting journey you've had, sir. And what really stands out is how each move you made wasn't just a step up. It was sort of a shift in scale, scope, and sector. So, thank you for sharing your journey with us.
Thank you so much. And I would like to be, more honest in here. It was a big change. Each job would be something like accepting a new challenge, new domain, new expertise, new skill requirements, etc. But comparatively, if you know a certain industry how it works, it will be very
Right.
easy for us to, ensure that the knowledge and the skills and wisdom that I gain over those areas can be easily stimulated and put forward in this industry also. So that
Right.
helped me a lot in working with later in pharmaceutical industry as well as power sector, etc.
So, sir, that was your, I would say, your hard work that you were able to do that, sir. So, kudos to that.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So, all that you talked about your journey, which brings me to Biocoin, sir. That SAP implementation you led, where there was called one of the best in the pharma space. No delays, no budget overruns. What made that one click, and was it the way you approached the team, the process, or just how things came together on the ground?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I really like the way we worked in Biocon, and I was very lucky to have an excellent team there. And I was instrumental in selecting the implementation partner, which is very
Okay,
critical, right?
right,
So we down selected SAP themselves as our implementation partner, which is very very important because in pharma sector there is no industry specific solution available at that point in time, and it was very crucial that I get a very good implementation partner who has the information, the knowledge, and business acumen of implementing in such a complex landscape.
right,
Biocon was running on Microsoft Accepta technologies, and they realized a lot of challenges and issues in reporting as well as compliances, etc. And that is why they decided to change Microsoft into SAP. So
okay,
yeah, I was also instrumental in discussing with the top. I was reporting directly to the managing director, so could ensure that SAP themselves were down selected as the implementation partner among the top leaders of the consulting partners. There was a good
right,
competition, and I have been fortunate to have a good. I just down selected the core team members myself. I interviewed everyone and ensured that we have a strong team who has got the business knowledge, and that will ensure a good business blueprint. See,
mhm,
basically, in such large implementations, we need to be very sure that the team which is in hand is having the complete end-to-end business knowledge of their
right,
particular section. For example,
right,
the production team should have a very good understanding, and that is how they will help defining the business blueprints. So we have defined which are all the critical documentation that we need to be complete at that time, in the initial time,
right,
exploratory time.
right,
Business blueprint, business requirements document, requirement traceability metrics, key data structure, etc., etc. And of course, it's very important to document and process flowcharts, etc., are clearly written down, and ensure that it is the whole business blueprint is signed off by the management. So
right.
why that is very important is that any changes at a later stage will have a lot of impact, because we would have started the realization activities, and this particular change in the business requirements at a later stage will impact the whole. So and then we have that complete CSV, computer system validation, CSV programs we call it as in pharma sector. It is very critical. All
Okay.
instance qualification, IQ, OQ, PQ qualifications,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that is very critical for all audits, whether
Okay.
it's US FDA or any audit, any third party audits, or any countries like China, Russia. All companies will come and audit our system
Great.
and the business which is being operated here as well as there. So naturally, we are interacting with the global teams, global business teams. So we require all those qualifications to be tested, and the GMP processes, the complete GMP processes are documented, tested rigorously, and documented for any
Okay.
inspection. And they will
Okay.
come and witness the same. So that is a challenge. So our quality
Right.
management team also was very crucial in that because they are the people who will be front ending the testing with the
Testing.
yes, yeah.
Right.
So everything was smooth, and though challenging, could be done in time. We have got an excellent team of business as well as core team members, and the coordination, planning. If you plan successfully, then I think most of the things in ERP implementation will be, we should define the critical success factors for any particular implementation. What are the success
Okay.
factors that is going to help you, and what are going to ruin you also? So I have
Right.
seen any implementation which is ending, I have read across basically. So SAP themselves were our implementation partner, which helped us a lot. And their pharma team in Germany also were interacting with me and the team very
Right.
frequently,
Right.
ensuring that the customizations are minimal, though still we had a lot of customization. Any customization means it's three-time testing. So normally, if it is
Okay.
a standard process, it is a single testing. Means if it is customization, it is rigorous testing. And
Regular. Regular
that
test.
whatever we did is, will not fail us at a later stage.
Right. Right.
So the goal was very good, and then cutover strategy, more cutovers, cutover strategy, everything was done in time. I don't think any overrun, though we anticipated some overruns in certain areas, but nothing.
Nothing happened.
Fortunately, nothing had happened.
Wow.
We could go live on the correct time. Yeah. So that was one of the key things. And though we exhausted as a team in implementing these modules, there were 24 modules, and a lot of challenges in the sense that SAP itself is one instance, then MRS is one another instance. MRS is the first time implemented in the world in Biocon.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
by SAP. That is another
Okay.
challenging thing which we did, and then we have got MRS means multi-resource scheduling.
Okay.
So yeah, and then we have got a GRC, governance, risk and compliance, and then we have a master data management module, all in different instances. So that is why it is challenging. Integrating all those things will be very challenging.
Right. Right. Wow, sir. And you were saying that the team selecting the right team member is important, but also identifying that this person is the right fit for the team is also a daunting task, and you did that so successfully.
Absolutely. So we need to interview. See, I have been interacting with the heads of the departments, and we'll ask them based on their own judgment and assessment the importance of this particular activity, and give them two three names, and then we'll interact with them, and then select one or two persons from the each team.
Absolutely right. Wow, what a great breakdown you gave, Mr. Sreekrishna. And it's clear that success didn't come from just having a good plan. Of course, a plan is important, but it
Yeah.
also came from staying sharp on execution and creating the right momentum on the ground. So kudos for that, sir.
Thank you so much. It was very hectic, and I really enjoyed. And my team members, all my team members, were there with me, are in very critical positions across the globe. It's not only
Right,
in Australia, in US,
right.
etc. Yeah. So that makes me a lot of that gives me a lot of pride and satisfaction also.
Absolutely, sir. Congratulations on that. So, Mr. Sri Krishna, across so many roles, from Biocon to Tata Power to EY, you've consistently reduced cost, improved delivery, and unlocked real business value through automation and architecture. But I'm sure not every transformation was smooth sailing. When you look back, which one really pushed you the most? That one that tested everything you know, and what made it so complex?
Yeah, thank you for the question. In fact, all the implementations or projects, whether it is business projects or SAP projects or integration project, all are challenging. So unless if you miss something, you will definitely end up in over cost overrun, time overrun, and overall ruining the project expectation. So
Mhm.
why these CEOs or managing directors wanted this particular ERP implementation is to ensure that they realize the benefits. They wanted to ensure that their organization stands out and ensure
Right.
all the reports and all processes are recorded,
Mhm.
automated, etc. As you rightly pointed out, one of the greatest challenges that I faced was in the recent implementation that we did it in Turkey.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was an SAP S4 HANA implementation. Again, it's very challenging because one is the language issue, because they
Right.
speak Turkish language and we need a translator for interactions.
Everything, I'm sure.
Yeah, and second thing is there were multiple partners. Like for example, their order management system was handled by one firm called Ulker. So that is
Okay.
actually something like similar to Amazon's or Flipkart's. They had a
Okay.
separate order management system, and their
Okay.
warehouse management is handled by another firm. And this three, our Kellogg's own SAP system, Turkey's own SAP system, and Ulker system, and the Netlog system. So all these three need to interact. And the language problem, and some of the systems work in old technologies. So integration is
Okay.
practically very difficult and challenging.
Very difficult. Right.
So, in fact, that has overrun for 3 months. The implementation project has overrun for 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, and thanks to the strong interference, the overrun has happened mainly because there was a leadership change also happened in the
Okay.
client side.
Client
So
side.
yeah, and they requested us to hold it for a while.
Okay.
But the challenging part was that the new leadership team which has come, they have some new ideas to be implemented. So that has changed the BBP. I was mentioning about the importance of BBP to be closed once for all and signed off.
Right. Right.
We had to reopen the BBP, and
Right.
that's one challenge that we have faced. But again, there was rigorous governance mechanism that had to be worked out between these three entities, which has to be interacted, and that is how we ensure that on a daily basis we are getting the feedback or the issue for the issues that we raised, and get
Mhm.
proper information from their side, and they
Right.
also cooperated us of late, and that is how it has gone and successfully completed, and then the support period also is called completed, and now it was projectly successfully handed over to the client. So that is
Wow.
a
Wow.
challenging job. I never thought it could be completed again in time, but because of the multifaceted issues like change in leadership of the client, and the language issue, and the technology that were used by the entities, now the partners were very old. They
Old.
don't want to. We cannot force them to change the
Of
technology also.
course. Of
So
course.
these are all the challenges, but our client wanted automation. So we had to work overtime to ensure that the automation of inventory reconciliations, financial reconciliation, everything happens on a real time basis. So a lot of IDOCs, a lot of integration aspects, etc., were to be considered. So integration architecture was very complex there, and it was one of the challenging job. Looking back, I can tell you, but it gives me a lot of happiness also. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a moment of pride, sir. I mean, it's difficult managing one team within, but you were managing and coordinating with different
Exactly.
people outside
Yeah.
and language barrier, as you said.
Correct.
So
Correct.
really appreciate that insight, Mr. Sri Krishna. And it's
And
these behind the scenes layers, the tension, the recalibration, the decision making under pressure that
correct.
actually shows us what transformation leadership looks like in real terms.
Exactly.
So,
So at the end of the day, I had to send my full team to Istanbul. They were staying there for almost 3 weeks to ensure that training, etc. The KT, the knowledge KT, and the training and user training, etc. done properly. So that change management is very critical in such
right,
cases. So they
right,
don't come back and complain that things have not been done properly. So the education training also is very critical. Change management also is very critical. Hand holding also is very critical. So we did all
right.
those. We did the good things at the right time. That's a critical, success factor for one of the successful implementation of this project here.
Right, right. And congratulations for driving it successfully.
Thank you so much.
So, Mr. Sri Krishna, you've handled digital transformation in some of the most tightly regulated environments, with global audits from agencies like US FDA and the others. In those situations, when I'm sure the pressure is real and the margin of error is almost zero, how do you build resilience into the process when compliance is non-negotiable and expectations are that high?
Yeah. So again, it's very tough question to answer. There are so many ifs and buts in this question.
Right,
But at the
right,
same time, I strongly believe that I can take example of pharmaceutical implementation, because pharmaceutical industry is one of the industries where the maximum number of compliance regime is there, rules, intellectual property rights, and then drugs are being handled, and many compliance, legal compliances issues, and financial audits. And we have got the most important part is that a lot of audits from US FDA and Ukraine, Russia, all those countries where the company is interacting. Any company
right,
who is interacting or doing business with the Western firms, no, naturally they will come, then they'll audit our system. So that is one of the challenging role. What we need to do at these kinds of situation are, basically we need to test it properly. You see, whatever solution we develop, so the realization activity is very critical. At the same time, the testing is much more critical. So ensure that all the stakeholders are involved in testing. They have been doing the business for long and they understand what exactly is required. So
right,
involve the stakeholders and ensure that their participation is there, and each and every step document it. We call it as process breakdown structuring. I normally call it as process breakdown structuring, just like WBS, we have got PBS. So these steps are to be regularly, strictly tested, and religiously documented also, and ensure that this has been shown or showcased to the inspectors when they come and do the inspection from their side.
right,
And
right,
compliance is something which we can't play around, because we lose business. They will grade us. The one of the greatest achievement that I feel is that in the very first inspection itself, we got green from all the auditors, like
mhm,
USFDA, because
right,
yeah. So that is one thing which everyone appreciated, and I really feel proud of that, because normally once, twice, thrice, etc., they come and do some corrections, suggestions, etc., they go back, and then we have to again rework and then make it correct. So here,
right,
nothing of that had happened. It was in the first go itself, it was a green signal from their side.
mhm,
So that was a challenging, that was a satisfying, work. And I strongly believe that it is because of the testing that we have carried out, and documentation that we did, and ensure that the stakeholders have themselves tested it and then documented it and approved it.
right,
Yeah.
right,
So see, if the stakeholder themselves certifies that they can easily manage it with the auditors, whomsoever is
mhm,
coming from whichever country. So naturally they
right,
will be here. So that is the only go. That is the only way to handle such situations. And properly, and many companies do fail to test it properly. So testing is one thing which is overlooked. Training and testing, change management is something which is overlooked at this kinds of implementation, which I
right,
respect about that. Yeah.
right, right. Wow. Wow, that's a solid lens, Mr. Sri Krishna. And most people only see the audit outcome, not the kind of preparation,
Yes, yes,
structure, and the pressures that behind the scenes. And
exactly.
managing something so complex, it's really a difficult task.
Correct.
So thank you for sharing your insights with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Actually, this is very important, because the all these implementations are being done for the business. So the business has to own it. So we
Right,
just implemented it go, but the companies who operate it, they must own it. So that is why the involvement of the business stakeholders are very critical,
right,
and
right,
they
right.
will be accepting it, means we are very happy about that.
Agree. So, Mr. Sri Krishna, you've done the heavy lifting across industries and systems, but I'm curious, what's next for you? Is there a direction that you're leaning into now, especially when it comes to the future goals or stepping into more boardroom driven roles?
Yeah, that is a difficult question to answer, but still, I would like to give it a try. See, you can see that I have been working in the public sector domains and in the private sector, in the consulting side, in the client side, with a
Right,
limited liability partner like EY. EY
right,
is a great
right,
organization to work.
right,
I cherish every moment that I work, and I believe that I have got the potential to make any challenge, however complex it is, however challenging it is, to realize, to ensure
Mm-hmm.
that the client is satisfied, to ensure that my company is happy with that. But at the same time, you need to be always constantly researching, constantly changing yourself to ensure that to look outwards, see how others are working. There is something called
Right.
technology and competitive IT, which
Mm.
is, which has to be developed by every organization. So I have been advising clients that there should be a competitive spirit that you have to
Okay.
develop within business
Right.
teams as well as IT teams, and they
Mm-hmm.
should merge. That the differentiation between business and IT should be merged. So they should be sitting together in the sense that IT is for the business, basically, right? So ensure
Right.
that this amalgamation happens just like mergers, and do something which is good for the enterprise as a whole. So we talk about. I just did my certification in project management long before when I was working in Australia. So I am a
Okay.
certified PMP, and
Wow.
I did my enterprise architecture certification also, which is one of the greatest, toughest certification program.
Right.
So that is given by the Open Group Architectural Framework in USA.
Okay.
So
Wow.
that speaks about business architecture, data architecture, application architecture, and technology architecture, platform architecture.
Mm-hmm.
So that is how a business should build a resilient framework for the enterprise. So when you talk about, we currently speak about business resilience, operational resilience, strategic resilience, etc. I specifically advocate for enterprise resilience. So it's an amalgamation, it's a combination of everything. And my experience in IBM in this architecture, enterprise architecture, solution architecturing, as well as project management of earlier projects in Accenture, and I was working at Accenture, etc., has really helped me in understanding what are the requirements of the CEOs or CXOs or CFOs of the world,
Right.
and how
Right.
to ensure that you drive the business into growth, and eventually succeed in your attempts. So when it's a bit challenging, it's easier said than done, but at the same time we need to be very focused on our activities. We need to define our strategy, our operational strategy, our business continuity plans, our sustainability plans, etc., perfectly. And that is why I just wanted to get associated with some of the missing links. To understand some of the missing links, I got associated with the Director Institute,
Right.
and I'm thankful to the I will greatly acknowledge all Hevel Mehta and the other people who have been very closely associated with us, guiding me properly, and ensure that the independent director course program has been successfully completed. And that also is a great achievement for me, and it gave me a lot of insights into the company code, Company Act 2013, Company Rules 2014, SEBI LODR rules, and
Right.
all boardroom meetings, similar other meetings, etc., and how a smart or progressive board should be looking like, etc. So now I think I am equipped with myself with some of the great ideas how I can help the industries and organization to achieve their to fulfill their targets, etc., to at least
Right.
contribute myself with all my business knowledge and information IT knowledge, and the concept like IT OT ET integration, that is engineering technology, operation technology, and information technology integration with the business. So it should
Right.
marry properly, perfectly. It should fit
Right.
and
Right.
ensure that the enterprise resilience is built in the organization. So it's my desire. Actually, I would like to seek some opportunities in the boardroom as an independent director. That will be my aim to step into the next uh, level of my career.
Right. Wow, sir, and I'm sure that with the kind of experience you bring to the table, you will be a, you will be a strategic addition to the boardroom.
I strongly believe so, because if you are in the top of the SAP implementation, etc., means you have to have highest knowledge about almost all the module. You'll be interacting with the finance CFOs, or
Right,
at the top finance people and audit people. Similarly, operation people, quality, production, maintenance, the entire gamut of people who are working in the organization. We should be interacting supply chain, legal rules, other departmental heads. So I
right.
believe I have been interacting with in all these companies. I have to, if I have to be successful, that communication, that interaction should be very useful to the organization. And I believe that is very important for anyone to survey. And definitely, if a progressive looking organization or board requires my help, I am glad to be part of that.
Wow, that's really great to hear, Mr. Sri Krishna. And it's always so insightful to see how seasoned leaders like yourself continue to shape their next chapter with the same intent and clarity that defined your journey so far. So, all
Yeah.
the best to you for your future aspirations. May you achieve them successfully.
Correct. Thank you. See, one more thing which I wanted to add here is that, see, the company roles, regulations, or independent director course is something that's really enlightened me on the whole aspects related to how a company works in, or enterprise works in,
Right,
what are the rules and regulations that a company needs to follow. That is one thing. And another thing is the digital director. See, basically, I am myself a digital director. I've been heading multiple digital programs, and in fact, we had a digital targets also in companies like Tata Group, where I was working. So most of our processes were digitalized. And the third thing which I left out, or rather wanted to explore, was the ESG, environment, sustainability, and governance part, and which I
right.
will be certifying soon, because in this minute itself I will be certifying on that. So I am on top of that, and will be completing and getting myself certified, even though I know it fully, and I have been a strong advocate of ESG. And even in our company EY presently, which I am working, there is extremely strong. Is one of the pioneers and leaders of ESG in the global markets.
Wow.
So, and I know what is happening at the latest things in the ESG front, which is very difficult, very challenging. But all these BRSR reports are now mandated by the SEBI also. All the top 1,000 companies have to follow the BRSR
Right, right.
report, and that is why I'm keen to learn ESG also, or certify myself in the ESG also.
So, given your experience driving large scale transformation across sectors, where do you see ESG fitting into that picture today? And not just as a compliance point, but as something that genuinely influences how tech and business decisions are being made on the ground.
Yeah, interesting. Actually, this is very ESG has become a turning point now. It is really essential. I strongly believe it is very good for the organization. Not only, as you pointed, in the sustainability point of view. See, basically, every company has got its own responsibility also. I
Right.
strongly believe that economic profit is the most important factor for any company to survive. But at the same time, the companies have a responsibility towards the social cause, social communities, that and the staff, employees, etc. Human rights, especially, which is a buzzword now. Every organization I have seen many organizations in Germany or Europe. They are on the thick of human right activities there. A lot of regulations have come in those areas. I was working in REACH compliance as early as 2000. So REACH compliance is regulation, evaluation, and authorization of chemicals in industries.
Okay.
So this
Okay.
is as early as in 2001, 2002. And the importance of REACH compliance is that all the chemicals or other products which are harmful, which will cause harm to the environment, have to be dealt extremely cautiously. And there will be a report that has to be given to the authorities on a timely
Okay.
basis. Something like an income
Okay.
tax filing that we have to do.
Hmm.
They were so early on those issues. We have our own EPM, environment performance management issues. So these are all critical for oil and gas companies, especially since I am having an oil and gas background also. I just can tell you that EPM, environmental performance management, pollution management, waste management, etc., are very critical, which have been neglected, by many industries for quite a long period.
Right.
That
Right.
has to come now into the fore. And I have seen BRSR reports also, some of the BRSR report. So that is a very good initiative. That's what I feel the SEBI has started, and which will go into the annual reports of top 1,000 listed companies in India. And I'm sure moving forward that will happen to top 5,000 or even more, all the companies that is required. Just say everyone has to file returns, no? So something like that.
Absolutely.
We may have to do that, and that will help the
Absolutely.
companies only. I'm telling you,
Right.
eventually it will help the companies only, in the sense that anyway they will be focusing on their numbers, basically, profitability or economic side of the operation, monitoring.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Right.
this that will not ensure them a proper sustainability point. When you look at long term benefits for the environment, long term benefits for the society or social causes, etc. And then governance, of course, governance, the corporate restructuring, and the governance mechanism, and the board resilience, the way the diversity, etc. If you do that, I strongly believe there is no reason why companies should face challenges in the future.
Right.
So I am
Right.
of the strong opinion that we should develop, and I have been seeing how ESG frameworks are being formulated, and how many rules and elements have been working across. And we have just started in India. It has just started in a very
Right.
niche shape, but I'm sure it will come to the core, and the companies will be uh, automatically creating such reports. That is again what I wanted to advocate here. IT can help here. So
Mm-hmm.
information technology, if the technology architecture, if the enterprise architecture have been built in such a way that even the boardroom meetings can be done using directly on the dashboards of IT.
Right.
So
Right.
that is, we have done it actually in Tata. I think we have done it. How
Okay.
all the reports that are to be evaluated or shown to the board at the time of board meetings by various departments have been put forward through online in SAP screens. So this is what some of the things maybe they would have fed manually, but that will be remaining there forever. And any director or any managing director, CEO, etc., anywhere in the world can access that and see their,
Right.
so
Right.
they can
Right.
easily access the same thing. And so a good company, a good ESG, transparent ESG reporting, practicing and reporting, and a good IT to facilitate all those things. It's a one-time investment, and then maintenance of all those, systems and policies ensure that they are really sustainable in the long term. So
Right.
the leaders should ensure that they understand some of those parameters, some of the issues, core issues that are challenging their bottom line, and prioritize that. And
Right.
similarly, the material negative impacts, no issues which will be impacting the society due to your firm, that has to be listed out and focus on that. And then
Right.
if you embed that into your strategy, that is that will be a clear
Yeah,
winner.
and I also believe that it should come from top down. That is
Exactly.
how
Yeah.
it will be implemented successfully.
Exactly.
And we've seen really ESG being treated as a checkbox, but the way you've described it, it is something that actively shapes business and tech choices. And that's where the real shift is. And I believe that instead of considering it as a task, it should be considered as an enabler for the success
Absolutely.
of the
Absolutely.
business.
Yeah. In fact, it's going to facilitate your entire operation, and your well-being, your feel-good factor, the reputation of the company. Everything will be, and the investor, they are also, all the shareholders or investors. They'll be extremely happy to.
Right.
They got a reliable team, a reliable
Right.
company in operation. Yeah.
Right, right, right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Great. So, Mr. Sri Krishna, before we wrap up, You've recently been a part of Directors Institute ecosystem. What made you decide to join, and how has the experience added value to where you are in your career right now? Now, you did give us some feedback on your experience with the institute, but if you can just shed some more light on it.
Sure, absolutely. I'm very happy to do that. As I was talking to you earlier also, see, I have a good business industry knowledge across multiple sectors, and I have been working in multiple domains and
Right,
multiple software applications implementations, etc. And that makes me a good a digital director sort of a person with my capabilities or certifications in enterprise architecture from TOGAF also. Having said that, I have been working with EY for the last more than nearing 5 years now. So we have got exposure to multiple, client engagement activities, which is, has really opened I just wanted to be sure about, I just am exposed to company rules, codes, etc. And then that is why I just was looking for a partner or an institute which will be offering me, guidance on this regard. I was just looking for this for quite a long period, but later last I think 2023, I got to know about this Directors Institute, and I was in
yeah,
touch with the team, and that was a turning point again. I must admit that it was very good, and I interacted with many people like Snehal or even Gansham and others also like Anjali Nair, etc., who was helping with me
right,
on
right,
those aspects, and had a good interaction with them also. And I decided to join, even though I joined in 2024, but I could not pursue that because of my career related exigencies or hectic work related activities. But
right,
again, I think in the month of April, again, Snehal contacted me asking about the, what happened, where are you on this?
right.
So I just took it as a challenge and I did it that immediately. And then the first to go itself, I have cleared. And
Wow,
yeah, it was very good for me. And I feel very good about that. But at the same time, ESG also is very critical for me. And that is why I joined the ESG course also, expert ESG program. So ESG as well as digital director positions or independent director course. So all these things put together, definitely I consider myself as a good fit to consider for my next level of activities in my career.
right,
Eh?
right.
And Directors Institute of World Council of Directors, they have really helped me in that. And I must thank each and every one of them, which I'll be doing separately through my LinkedIn posting. But this has been a very quite a useful and helpful journey so far with the Directors Institute. And most wonderful are the interaction that I had with everyone, and even the senior leadership people from other industry, leaders who are very good in independent directors or CMDs or CEOs of the world. Interaction with them also has been very useful. Lectures given by them were very useful, and literally as if you are working on some boards, that sort of an experience, like audit committees
Wow,
or relationship committees or CSR committees, etc. It was very good, very useful, and those interactions have given me a lot of insights related to how things happens inside the board and in meetings, and how what are all the do's and don'ts that you need to do while you are in board, etc. So Directors Institute have really helped me a lot on this. I must
wonderful feedback.
I
Thanks so
must
much.
really acknowledge that, and I will do that in future.
Wow. Yeah, I was just saying thank you for that wonderful feedback. And it's always inspiring to see leaders with so much experience like yourself are still actively investing in their boardroom readiness, learning something new and finding value in the process. So kudos to you for that, sir, and wish you all the best for your success in the future.
Thank you so much. It has been very nice talking to you, and
Absolutely.
also I think know a lot of things about what is happening around. So I really acknowledge that, and very
Absolutely.
nice. interact with you. Yeah.
Same here, sir. That brings us to the end of another episode of FaceTime with Leaders by Directors Institute. Mr. Sreekrishna, thank you so much for sharing such a grounded and experience rich perspective from large scale digital transformations to your reflections on governance and leadership. This conversation has been packed with real takeaways.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really cherish these moments. Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. To our audience, we hope this episode gave you a closer look at what it takes to lead through complexity, build resilient systems, and stay relevant in an ever evolving landscape. We'll be back soon with more leaders, more stories, and more boardroom insights. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.